Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here. Welcome to my house. Let's go on inside and let's check out my LPS display and my LPS tank. Come on in. Welcome in my casa. This right here is my Planet Aquarium's 224 gallon LPS tank. Now it is still morning time, so most of the corals are still closed up, but the purpose of this video is to show you one of my systems, how I built it, equipment I used, and why it works for me. So first off, let's start with the tank. The tank is a Planet Aquarium's tank. It is 72 inches wide, 30 inches deep, 24 inches tall, comes out to roughly 224 gallons. The glass on front is low iron glass, not standard glass. We'll talk about that later, standard versus low iron. Both glasses, I really can't see a difference. If you have clear water, it's going to be clear. But let's keep going on the tank. The silicone has a PVC silicone protector, so when I clean the glass, it doesn't chip the silicone. It always keeps that nice sharp line. Back overflow in the back is an internal overflow, not an external on this tank. And that is the bottom of the tank, which you can't see because the sand is actually glass. It is not PVC. Up top, we have the awesome Reef Breeder Meridian lights. They are doing a fabulous job. This one has the shallow reef spread, so that way I can get a wider angle of light to wrap around all my corals in this LPS tank. Flow. On the top here, top side over here, top side over here, I have two max spec gyre pumps, so it brings the flow from the back of the tank to the front of the tank and wraps around to move the detritus out front and allow that internal overflow to scoop it down into my reef mat. But I'm not done. On the side, I have an Ecotech MP60, and then in the back, I have two Ecotech MP40s rushing flow behind the rocks. First thing you're going to think, that is a lot of flow for an LPS tank. I agree with you, but I always think more is better. So the more flow I can get in this tank, I can reduce dead spots that create stagnant areas, bacteria issues, phosphate issues, diatom issues, all those kinds of issues. Now, I don't have all these pumps on 100%. I actually have them 50% on the tops. It's 15, 20%. I want to say 15% on this MP60 on the side. My MP40s on the back pulsate at about 100% because there's no coral in the back, so I want all that surge of that detritus in the back to be caught up for the gyres to spin around. So that is the tank on the inside. Next, let's go ahead and go under this tank and let me show you the filtration. Livestock we'll talk about another day in another video. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and go on downtown and check out the filtration. I went ahead and took a door off to make this easier. This stand does have removable doors. Makes the service a lot nicer for these kinds of things. Now we'll start on over here. That is a Red Sea reef mat. So all that detritus that the gyres spin up in the display will get down the internal overflow, move into that. The reef mat will then go ahead and scoop it all up and roll it right on out of the water. We move on to the next phase and we have a Reef Octopus. I believe this is a 200 or 250 protein skimmer. Bigger is better. You just don't have to turn it up all the way. Next, you'll see this cord dangling here. You're going, Tyler, where's your wire management? I leave this cord out because it makes it a lot easier for me to disconnect the head of the skimmer and deep clean it to make sure that there's no extra detritus to keep that skimmer efficiency high. Then we have a Aqua UV 57 watt UV sterilizer. I have two heaters to make sure if one burns out, the tank still has heat going. I have a premium carbon reactor on a manifold. Inside I'm using Bulk Reef Supply ROX carbon. And then I have a CJ ADV 5.5 pump powering everything. Now you're going, why did you go AC versus DC on the pump? I believe that there's not that big of an advantage of power on AC versus DC, especially when I'm running so many high-powered reef lights. I don't think that it makes much of a difference on my power bill. I would rather have one wire on and off. I don't need to adjust the speed. I just tune my plumbing and forget about it. Next, we move on over to the interesting stuff. Here we go. We have Ecotech Versa dosers. They work awesome. Side note, I feel that their base station is terrible. Always loses connection on my dosing pumps. I have figured out a way to fix it. I've contacted them multiple times asking for a fix. They ignore me. So I just want to note that out there. The pumps are amazing. The base station is terrible. I have all my elements that I'm currently dosing from ALK calcium trace aminos. I have an ATO electronics, Neptune Apex electronics, Ecotech electronics, and some other stuff that's not currently shown for the wave pump controllers. I have a large ATO box for all my RO water because you want to keep that salinity stable. So that is the filtration. Look at all that junk being pulled out. Now, you might ask, what about maintenance? Well, this tank is very low maintenance. I only clean it about once a month, if that. I clean the glass once a week. The sand, I know it's hard to tell with all this blue light and I don't have an orange filter on me. The sand is relatively clean, thanks to the cleanup crew. We will talk about that in another video to tell you how important it is to overdo the cleanup crew. This is my LPS tank. Let's go ahead and end this video. Next, I will show you the SBS tank.